Hi there. This is me just coming in for an update on postpartum cloth pads that I used. I've got my little baby here. She's 8 weeks old. And I just wanted to talk about cloth pads postpartum that I used. So in the hospital, right after delivery, when the bleeding was most heavy, like in the labor and delivery room, I just used the disposable pads that they put on you because you can't really choose. I mean, I guess you could if you put it in your birth plan or spoke up or something, but like they do the delivery and like help clean you up and stuff, and then put like a disposable pad on, and then they do frequent bleeding checks for the first like 2 hours in the L&D room. So for the first 2 hours, I had the chucks and the big like disposable pads that the hospital provides, and then I had those also when I first went over to my postpartum room after the 2 hour recovery, and then so I was just wearing the disposable for the postpartum nurse's first like fundal check to check for bleeding, because I didn't want to be wearing like dyed colorful pads like for bleeding checks. So I would switch into these after fundal checks were done, and nurses typically do those at changes of shift. So every 12 hours, I would just put on like a disposable around change of shift, and then besides that, I would use my cloth, and I just had a little wet bag that has a loop that snaps open and shut, and I just snapped that onto the safety handrail in the bathroom and just would like put my disposable pads in there, or not disposable, the reusable ones. And yeah, it was super easy, and obviously these are super comfortable and way better than disposable pads. I did find that my bleeding was a lot lighter than I thought it would be. I thought bleeding would be heavier for longer, but it was actually pretty light. Even like just the next day, I had her at around 8 p.m. and the next morning my bleeding was, I would say, like moderate. It wasn't that bad. So I will show you. I first used this Homestead Emporium because I got it just for the postpartum period, so I had to use this, and it's my biggest one. It's about 15 inches long. I did not need this kind of length. I think that this pad just had a small spot. After wearing it several hours, it just had a small spot of blood here at the front, and then like a small spot like in the middle. There was none of this back part was even needed. So I ended up feeling like I could have just used moderate to heavy pads in like 10 to 11 inches in length, kind of like from my regular stash that I've had. I think I've already said it, but I've been using cloth pads for 8 years, so since I was in high school I've been using them, so I have a large stash that I've accumulated. I used to collect them like crazy, and now I don't, but I still have tons of them, like way more than I need. Probably didn't need to buy any new ones for postpartum, but this is one that I got from Homestead Emporium, and none of these, I didn't really have issues with leaks with any of these. This is the Ulti Mini. This is called the Ultimax Slim, and then this one is called the Ulti Mini. It's 12 inches. Some other ones I used, this was an Etsy seller, this plaid one. I think it's Pretty Cloth. It's an Etsy shop, and it's got a graduated core, 3 layers of Zorb, and it's like overnight absorbency. It has a layer of PUL in the back, and then a layer of flannel on for the top and for the back. But it's graduated, so the most absorbency is right in the middle. And this is just 11 inches long, but it's like a heavy-duty absorbency, but it feels really trim. I liked this one a lot, and I liked that it had PUL, so I knew I wouldn't leak through it. So yeah, I will put all of the shop names in the description because I want them to, you know, get their due recognition. So I can't remember the name of that shop, but I will let you know. And then I used this one. It's got a fleece, a cotton fleece POL bonded back, and it's moderate absorbency. And this one, oh my gosh, I have not been getting a lot of sleep with this newborn. So I can't believe I can't remember this shop because it's one of the most recent purchases I've made, but this is just 10 inches long. This is a Yurtcraft. These ones I'm showing you I used in the hospital, and I'll let you know the ones that I used when I got home. I used quite a few, but I never used the same pad again, and that's just because I have such a massive stash and I'm super privileged, but it would be easy to just like wash and reuse because I was doing a ton of laundry anyway when I got home. So you do not need a huge stash to do this. I mean, you don't have to have so many pads that you don't have to wash them at all. Like, that's what I did. I'm not making a lot of sense. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep going through this, and then maybe I'll go back to that later. I'm not making sense. These are Yurtcrafts that I used in the hospital. This one is an ultra heavy absorbency bicycles, and it's 10.5 inches. And then this one is Frida Kahlo, and it is also heavy absorbency, 10.5 inches. This is a moderate absorbency with a bamboo velour topper. The moderate absorbency, like I said, was totally sufficient for me postpartum, even while I was still in the hospital. I only stayed in the hospital 48 hours, so those first 48 hours were just light to moderate bleeding for me. So the moderate absorbency of this was nice. It was really thin and floppy and just super comfy, like it wasn't there. And it is 12 inches. Another Ulti Mini from Homestead Emporium. This is a 12.5 inch Yurtcraft, heavy absorbency, and again the length was more than I need. I mean, it's good to feel protected and all, but 12 inches is longer than I need even for my heaviest flow. And then this one is an Etsy shop that went out of business a while back called That Pink Sack, and I got this custom ordered from her. It's just a bamboo, it's the smooth side of bamboo velour, or not bamboo velour, it's bamboo fleece topped, the smooth side facing out, and then it's got a Pro Care waterproofing, and then just a cotton back. It's really cute. And it's so satisfying to like stain treat this and see it turn white again. It is kind of harder to get the blood stains out of, but I kind of find it gratifying to get the stains out and make them look like new. So that is what I used in the hospital, 48 hours. Again, that was just in between fundal checks with the nurses. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pads that I used while I was at the hospital. And then I used significantly more when I went home. And when I was at home, my bleeding was mostly light, even like spotting kind of bleeding, light to moderate. So I used a lot more, obviously. The bleeding in total lasted only about like 2 weeks for me, and most of it was light. But there are a few heavy pads in here. This is a Mother Moon Pads bamboo velour, and it's got a P on it for postpartum. It's got, I think, 2 layers of Zorb. And then this is a Mother Moon Pads moderate, 1 layer of Zorb. And then this is a County Cloth Creations 11-inch heavy. And I made this custom order when I was pregnant for that one. I used several MisandryMade pads or a lot of, most of these I bought when her shop was still called C-Pop Commodities. So I will go through those. I used some 11-inch ones. These two are 10.5 or 11 inches. This one's 10 inches. I love the prints on her pads, so that's why I have so many. They also clean really easily. So these are moderate 9.5-inch pads. This one's light. And this one's a moderate. So I use several of those. This is that same brand that I can't remember the name, unfortunately, but there's two of these. We use this one, which is like a boosted moderate, 10 inches. And then this one, I love these dyes. And this is a 9.5-inch moderate from Yurtcraft. It's just a wildflower print. This is one of the first pads I ever used. Actually, it is the first pad I ever used in high school. It's Blossom Pads brand. I don't think that they're in business anymore, but this is a 10.5-inch super absorbency, and it just has, I don't use it a lot, but it has sentimental value to me because it was what got me interested in cloth pads, and it just has a fleece back. This is a New Moon pad, just like a wingless. This is a County Cloth Creations 8-inch. This is an Etsy shop. This is one of my most recent purchases. It's Pixies Reusables. Her Etsy page offers, like, everything is custom order, like by your request. So you choose the print and the length and the absorbency and stuff. So I got this cool cookie print, and it is a moderate absorbency. The red ribbon means moderate. Just a warning with that shop, the custom order list is really long for her, so it takes, turnaround time to get it shipped to you is 4 to 6 weeks. So don't order from them if you want your pads soon. And then this is my friend Charity made this for me years ago. She had a brand called Peace Love Cycle, and she made pads mostly for like her friends in the cloth pad community. So she made me that one. It's moderate. And then I have several FigLeavesPads. Stephanie is also a friend of mine from the cloth pad maker community from years past. We were in a Facebook group. So I got a lot of these years ago, but this is one of her 10-inch moderate. And then this is an 8-inch moderate. This is a 7.5-inch moderate. So is this one, pizza print. And then this is an 8-inch light. And it's like a floral pattern. Coming down to the last liners. So I have two liners from a shop that's, oh, there's one more fig leaf pad. I have a wood print. It's light absorbency. These two liners are from the Silver Liner, which was a shop that was really popular back in the day, like 2000, I think it was around 2008 or something, 2009. No, not 2008, because I would have been in 8th grade. When was it? I'd say 2012 or so. It was like all the rage, and she would do custom orders and regular stockings, and She just has really good stitching quality, and her pads never leaked. And she also used a really nice Wind Pro fleece, which was like the newest, biggest thing back then. So 2 8-inch liners from the Silver Liner. This is a 6-inch liner from the Silver Liner. It's just no waterproofing, just double-sided. 7-inch Yurtcraft liner, and then a 7-inch MisandryMade liner, and an 8-inch from the same maker who made these pads. I can't believe I can't remember this maker's name. She's currently active on Etsy, but she made like all of these ones that have the pretty hand dyes. I'll put it in the description box. So yeah, I went through a lot of pads, but those are all different. Like I didn't reuse the same pad more than once, but you can obviously do that. I didn't wait until I was done with my postpartum bleed to wash these, obviously. I washed like every couple of days when I'd get several built up, and I cloth diaper this baby, so I'm doing loads of laundry every other day anyway, so I would just throw my pads in with the diaper laundry every other day. But just for fun, because I have such a huge stash, it was fun to just like use a different pad each time. So yes, I think that covers everything. If you have any questions, you can comment below. But yeah, they worked out great. I didn't have any leaks, and yeah, it was just a really light period. I'm on birth control now, and a lot of birth control options, the doctor will tell you that you're likely to just stop getting a period, which actually makes me kind of sad. Since I use cloth pads, I kind of enjoy being able to get them out and use them and have like a menstrual period. I know that's very odd, but I think that women who have like not horrible periods and who use cloth pads, I think that they can understand where I'm coming from. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if or when I'll get another period after having her and using this birth control, so we'll see. But I hope my periods don't disappear forever and that it comes back, because I like to use all my pretty pads. It's kind of fun. All right, talk to you later.